1 2 1 2. Let me see if I am alive here. Just want to make sure, because last week or 2 weeks ago I did not do it the right way. Copy link. And I ended up talking a lot without anyone actually joining. So this time around, I want to make sure and see. And wouldn't you know, I think I am online. Hello. Okay. Yes, this looks like I am online. So I trust I'm online this time around, and I want to get started right away. So welcome, a new word for me. Welcome to this incarnation of Ask Me Anything Sunday. This time around I had to start at 8 p.m. Usually I do it at 8 a.m. in the morning when it's quiet. This time around I had to come in at 8 p.m. Because we had a bunch of soccer games and I could not make it in the morning 8 o'clock because I was on the soccer field watching my son actually winning his games. So with that said, let's get to it. This time it's going to be a quite short session because I have not had a lot of progress on some of the things that I started out doing. So the blog, I created an additional 2 blogs in the past 2 weeks, which is right around my average of about 1 blog a week, which is something I really want to get away from, and I want to put up at least 1.5 to 2 blogs a week, so get my average up to about 6 blogs a month. But this has, for various reasons, I have not been able to get there, so this has not happened. However, with that said, I am very happy with the posts that I did create. Those are very valuable in my opinion, and you should definitely go and check them out. There's definitely some information in there for you as well. What else went on? I spent a lot of time tweaking my blog. One of the things that you should know, and that you probably will know, is if you have a blog, every second that a user is waiting for your blog to load is increasing the chances of him clicking away by in an exponential manner. So if somebody has to wait for longer than, say, 3 seconds, the chances of him to click away go up to about, I think, close to 40%. If they have to wait for 4 seconds, it's somewhere around 60 to 70%. So you'll see the trend. You have to make sure your blog is efficient and loads very fast. And I spent, within the last 2 weeks, I spent a lot of time trying to tweak it, and I found a couple of really nice plugins that I can highly recommend. You can find in one of the blog posts that I wrote, the income report, you can find the links to those plugins for WordPress, and I want to list them here. So the first one, which is the main plugin to speed up your WordPress blog, is called Plugin Load Filter. Those are 3 separate words. If you type them in and you search for it as a new plugin, you'll find this really nice plugin. And what this plugin does is actually pretty nice. In order to understand how you can improve performance, just a little bit of the geeky technical side, when you install a plugin, a lot of times, not always, but a lot of times, the plugin will load some JavaScript, some cascading style sheets, CSS files, or other static files for every single page that you load, even those pages that do not use those plugins. One good example is D360 plugin. This plugin allows you to view 360 degrees videos or images, and I needed it for a single blog post. I'm intending to use it probably more, but the problem was that it would load even on the startup side an additional about 800 kilobytes of JavaScript, which is a lot, which you can say it's a really nice medium-sized image, about the same type of data that you need to suck into your browser. So the plugin load filter allows you to select only those pages or blog posts that actually require the plugin to utilize the particular plugins. So per default, nothing will change, but then you can select a plugin, for example, D360 plugin, and you can say this one do not load per default, and then when you go to your blog post entry, you go and you can manually check this particular plugin. So I have a bunch of about 10 plugins which all exposed about the same issue, and now with those basically removed, the front page of my WordPress blog loads much faster. So I highly recommend you guys check this out and play around with it. Again, it's called plugin load filter. The next plugin also regarding performance is called Fast Velocity Minify, and this plugin does something slightly different. It takes a look at your JavaScript and your CSS files, and if it needs to load it, it will combine it into a single file and compress it down, so that when the browser receives those files, they will be compressed and in much smaller size than they usually would be, and thus again speeding up the overall time that your blog needs to be displayed. So definitely worthwhile installing. This one I believe is almost like a plug and forget. So you install it and you don't have to do a lot after the initial configuration. You have to probably select one or two of these options, and you're ready to go. Again, more detail of that can be found in the income report for January 2020, the blog on my WordPress blog. And the last plugin that I installed for a short time, and then I uninstalled, but it's still worthwhile for you to check it out. It's called P3, and then in parentheses, Plugin Performance Profiler, so PPP. Plugin Performance Profiler. This plugin will not tweak or not improve the performance of your blog, but it will point to areas where you can look into improving the performance yourself. So I installed it, I looked at it, and I did this after I played around and optimized my blog, and I found it not to be useful for me, so I simply uninstalled it again. But for you, if you haven't done the bootleg, the work up front, it's definitely worthwhile checking this plugin out as well. And this overall process for me to speed up the performance took about 2 or 3 days playing around with the WordPress plugins and adjusting as required. So it's a one-time effort, definitely worthwhile. I would highly recommend that you go through this exercise, or if you don't, you can hire an administrator or shoot me an email, and I may be able to help you out as well. So what else did I do within the last 2 weeks? As you know, I got my AdSense account banned for life for no apparent reason from Google AdSense in December, and I submitted an appeal. Then I resubmitted the appeal in end of January, and I resubmitted the resubmitted appeal again on Thursday, so about beginning of February. And this was the first time that I actually did get a response from Google AdSense, and the response basically said that there is an appeal pending and I should not submit another appeal. So let's see if I hear back. If I don't, by the end of February, I will send another appeal, and I will keep on going until I hear anything back from Google AdSense and see if they may or may not help me out and instantiate my AdSense account. Again, I'm trying to get away from AdSense, but it is really, really helpful to have the AdSense account. First off, it provides a much better CPM, so cost per 1,000 visitors, than other ad networks, and it is also combining the web pages traffic, so your AdSense traffic that you get through web pages, your AdMob income that you create through Android apps, which was my main income source, and it also includes your YouTube channels, right? So I'm at this point not able to monetize a YouTube channel if I wanted to. I'm not able to monetize my Android apps using AdMob if I wanted to, and I'm not able to monetize my web pages if I wanted to using AdSense. So all these are all boiled into one thing, and that's why it would be great if I could get my account reinstated, and it would be even greater if Google would find the time to actually tell me why it was disabled in the first place. But with that said, I am still trying to find replacement for Google AdSense, and I have installed media.net on my website, and I have had very little success with media.net. So while I received a few pennies from AdSense, even with a very, very low traffic blog in the past, with media.net, I checked it out today, and I have received overall impressions of about 3,500 views of the ads from media.net, and I have still received $0.00. So no, not even a fraction of a dollar assigned to this traffic. Even though it's very low, I would still think that it would be really nice to see that zero, that last digit move by 1 or 2 cents to see at least progress. Granted, these 3,500 impressions came from between mid-December to now, which is mid-February 2020. I also contacted my account manager on media.net through the official email address that was given to me, and so far I have not heard back, which is really upsetting, because I think at some point I feel I should be at least receiving a response, and even if the response is just basically saying, the traffic is just not good enough to earn any income using media.net, at least I would see that there is a human-to-human type of interaction. So, but media.net seemed to be following the same tracks as AdSense is laying out. The other advertising network I tried, I'm trying, it's still working. It's adx.network. This is a ad network which is based off of a cryptocurrency called AdX. And the reason why I liked it and I wanted to give it a try is because of the openness of this platform. Now, if I go and take a look at the dashboard for adx.network, it actually gives me a whole range of information, and I really like the interface, with one exception. And the exception is that I cannot freely choose the time ranges. Most likely because this is a cryptocurrency-based system, and it is decentralized. That means there is no central server who contains all the data. All this data probably is stored inside my browser cache itself, and in order to keep that required memory storage low, that would be my guess, that technically they are not able, or not they don't want to store too much data inside that browser cache, which makes me wonder what happens if I collect, say, 10,000 hits or 10,000 ad views over a period of 1 year. Would that then mean that after the period of 1 week, I would lose all the data, so my impressions would never end up actually earning me any income, which is obviously also not what I'm looking for, because I'm trying to find a ad network for you guys to allow us to monetize our blogs, even if we have a very, very low traffic on that blog. So far no good. But I'm continuing to look on, and I may actually give Apple and Microsoft a try. So we'll see. Stay tuned. I will see if and when I find the time to switch over and try the next ad network. What else is there to talk about? So I have only created 2 blog posts, which is less than I intended to create. So that's definitely something I do need to work on, and I hope I can spend some more time. But with work and with my with the time I spent on the soccer field with my sons, I have not as much time as I wanted to give to this blog, unfortunately. Pinterest is going along quite well. I coming down. I had quite a lot of impressions from third-party pins, which brought up my stats. But because there were third-party pins pointing to another web page, I did not. I was unable to take advantage of that, and I stuck with my numbers, which are right around 23,000 impressions per month. And I would like to see if I can increase this a little bit. And I believe the only way to really increase the number of impressions, is to provide not just any contents, not just like 500 word contents, but the best possible contents there is. And as you know, this takes time to build. Pretty happy. I'm working actually on 2 blog posts, which will be epic. So once I'm releasing those blog posts, I think they will be offering you a lot of different information, and they're definitely worthwhile checking out. And I hope they will be really helpful, because all the information collected is information that I went through or that I have thoroughly researched to be valuable and viable options to earn money and to increase your overall wealth. So with that said, I could go on for some more, but I don't have really any more to say, and I do see that we do not have any questions at this time. But I would want to just say that keep on reading my blog. I will continue to improve it, and I will work on those stories that you asked me to work on. I see if you are interested to learn a little bit more about performance tuning, then I can write about this. If you are getting annoyed by all the people leaving spam in the comment sections, I have a solution that I implemented myself that may help you out a little bit as well. And it all depends on what your feedback is and what you would like to read up on my blog. And this is what I will be writing about. So with that said, thank you all for listening in, and I certainly hope I hear you and see you all back in about 2 weeks when I have my next Ask Me Anything Sunday. Take care.